What is going on, Raider Nation? It's your boy Sanjit back at it with another video. Today we're going to break down the tape of the Las Vegas Raiders first team unit. About 15 snaps that I kind of want to get into. The Raiders offense looks explosive, man. It looks really good. Last week we saw Geno Smith on the first play of the game pick up 15 yards to Trey Tucker. In this game against the 49ers, you pick up 28 yards to Brock Bowers. Absolutely love the fact that Geno Smith is willing to push the ball downfield. The Raiders haven't always had these type of quarterbacks. Guys that'll give his playmakers 50-50 chances. And Brock Bowers is not just any sort of playmaker. This guy is an absolute elite football player. He's going to obviously end up running this wheel route. And Geno Smith's going to trust that. He's going to trust that Brock Bowers will be able to get it. And essentially beat the safety that ends up matching up against him. And even the offensive lineman, man, this is such a great job here. Really clean pocket from the guys up front. DJ Glaze, Jackson Powers-Johnson are in true one-on-one blocks. Phenomenal job by both of these guys to be able to shut these two defenders down. And of course, with the center, left guard, left tackle, Dylan Parham's going to end up double teaming with Meredith, gets off the block, and crushes his defensive end. Really setting that tone. And that was the first play of the game. But the Raiders kind of just continued that success over the next couple of plays. The second play of the game, you're going to get a 5-yard run by Ashton Genty. You know, one of the things I noticed with Ashton Genty is the guy has really good vision. He has really good, just ability to like cut back and find the gap, make people miss within that. I think about this play here as Ashton Genty takes the football. It's going to be a zone run towards the right. Ashton Genty's going to get the ball. Jackson Powers-Johnson has his guy kind of pushed out here towards the right. So Genty's going to make that first cut right off of that. Really nice jump cut. Jordan Meredith's going to end up missing his block. And Ashton Genty's going to kind of make that guy miss right there as well. That's a really good job right there by Genty with the jump cut and just kind of making people miss. Now, if you guys keep an eye here on Meredith, he's going to end up missing his block. To me, you got to do a better job. You got to take this linebacker and you have to push him out towards the right. This play right here pops for a huge gain if Jordan Meredith makes this block. Notice how the right tackle's pushing his guy out towards the right. Jackson Powers pushing his guy out towards the right. Meredith has this same type of block. He needs to push this guy out towards the right. Even if he doesn't actually physically move him, he needs to set himself up to the inside because this play pops right through there if he's able to do that. Now, you will also notice that this linebacker that Colt Miller's blocking is going to actually go underneath Colt Miller. He's going to go towards the left of Miller, which actually doesn't matter because Colt Miller has a reach block, not a seal out block, right? So it's two different blocks. A seal out block here by Jordan Meredith, a reach block here by Colt Miller. He needs to hook this guy off. So if the linebacker jumps backside, there's not a big deal. Dylan Parham, phenomenal reach block. Colt Miller is able to cut this guy off. Right, you see the linebacker goes backside of Colt Miller. You're okay with that because Colt Miller would be able to readjust and get back to that guy. But again, it doesn't work because Meredith is unable to push this guy outward. So you have to do a better job on this one. It's still a gain of 5 yards, so it's not a terrible run play. But sometimes one block, man, could be the difference between like a 20-yard gain and a play that only picks up 5 yards. And it picks up 5 yards because everybody else does a really good job. So after that 5-yard gain, you have a 2nd and 5. Geno Smith, doing Geno Smith type of things. Doing a really good job with the pass. I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I don't actually think this is a bad pass by Geno Smith. I think this is kind of on Thornton for turning so much sooner than he really needed to within this play, right? I think Dante Thornton ends up looking back to the football way too soon. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but you can tell he turns his head right here. Let me just back this up. Keep an eye here on Thornton's helmet. And notice when the helmet turns back towards the quarterback. You'll see it right about there, right? He turns his head back right as Thornton kind of hits that 30-yard line. To me, you got to just continue running, and then you're able to potentially get underneath that, right? When you turn your head, you're going to slow down just a little bit. Not a huge deal. At some point, Thornton and Geno will end up connecting on these plays. This was 2nd and 5. The offensive line does a great job on this one. So many guys, man, in true one-on-one situations, just holding up. Colt Miller out here against number 96. 96 is a second-year rotational defensive lineman. Miller's going to just straight up shut him down. That's a really good job. I think you'll end up getting a double team here on the 3 technique between Meredith and Parham. But that's a nice job regardless. Not really sure what happens with Jackson Powers-Johnson. He gets put into some sort of spin cycle. I think he thinks there's a defensive line game coming. based off of what he ends up doing within this play. And I'm not really even sure. It looks like 47 ends up jumping inside. And again, I think that's because the safety ends up blitzing. But either way, the quarterback's kept fairly clean. He has the pocket. He's able to throw a pretty nice pass. Although it is incomplete, the Raiders are now in 3rd and 5. And keep in mind, it's the same exact drive as the first drive of the game for the Raiders. And you're going to get a pretty nice run here. This one's going to pop for 8 yards. You're going to get inside zone on this one. And just a great job by the left tackle, left guard. Meredith does a pretty nice job on this one as well. You're going to get the double A-mug look by the linebackers. Meredith takes the linebacker to the right. And he does a pretty good job, right? Just kind of sticking with this guy. And the running back picks up 8 yards on this one. Right guard, right tackle. Phenomenal job just kind of blocking these guys outwards. Jackson Harris-Johnson may have held a little bit. You guys tell me if you guys think that's a hold. Looks kind of like a hold to me. Doesn't get called, so I guess it's not a hold. But pretty nice shot by the guys up front. 8 yards on this one. 1st and 10. Take a deep shot, man. Every 1st and 10, just throw it up to Dante Thornton. One of these plays will definitely hit. Thornton has to do a better job on this one, staying, not allowing that corner to push him out towards the sideline. Got to do a better job on this one. Not a great job either by the right tackle. Not a great route. Not a great job by the right tackle. Right tackle isn't a true one-on-one situation on this play. Colt Miller has a tight end over here, so it's going to help him out a little bit. DJ Glaze is on an island. You got to do a better job here against 47. I don't like that, right? To me, that's just too much pressure. You want the quarterback to be able to kind of step up in this and step up and throw the pass cleanly. Now, to be fair, 47 is, he's a really, really good football player. Bryce Huff, I think he's one of the better defensive ends in the NFL. Obviously hasn't really translated into a top 10 guy, but he's a good football player in my opinion. You just got to do a little bit of a better job anchoring down, in my opinion, on this play. 2nd and 10, I don't like this play at all. I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't love Ashton Genty taking these type of hits. Some people say Ashton Genty ran over this linebacker, which is true. He kind of does run him over, but the linebacker also sends Ashton Genty backwards. And Ashton Genty has to go, he has to come off the field, goes into the medical tent, right, gets that shoulder checked out. Some people are saying this is the welcome to the NFL moment for Genty, and it might be, truth be told, but I don't like this play from Genty's perspective. And I'm not saying just run out of bounds or anything, but I don't know. I just don't love Genty taking those type of hits. That's my personal opinion. Now, I do think within this play, you might have had an option of Trey Tucker, but I do also think the safety's kind of underneath that right here. So I don't think Geno Smith's going to take that shot with the safety right there. And I know the safeties technically think that ends up getting picked. Regardless of that, I do like how Geno Smith steps up within the pocket. Geno Smith has this ability to him that I feel like the Raiders haven't had in their quarterbacks. And that's a guy that can stand tall in the pocket, that'll step up, right, and kind of go through those reads as well. And I know he checked it off on this one, but I like that from Geno Smith right there. And that one was 2nd and 10. This one's going to be 3rd and 8. And once again, Geno Smith's not going to like what he sees, and he's going to check the ball down. Mostert has to make this play right here. When you watch this play here, and you see all these guys here on the line of scrimmage, and you're going to get all these guys to kind of drop off, safety rotates into the middle of the field. It's going to be a cover 3 defense. I understand Geno Smith not liking what the downfield options within this play. I also don't love the spacing of having a wide receiver run across the middle of the field right where your tight end kind of is. Not a fan of that one, truth be told, but it is what it is. Geno does make the smart read on this one by giving the pass to Raheem Mostert. Now, Mostert's in a one-on-one situation. You make this guy miss, you're getting down to the 10-yard line. And, this is the type of play that makes you feel, or at least for me, it makes me feel like the Raiders got to add a second running back that's dynamic, that can make a guy miss out in open space. The Raiders have to be able to pick this 1st down up. 3rd and 8, and you're giving your running back an opportunity in a one-on-one situation against the cornerback. You got to make that guy miss right there. Cannot get tackled by this guy. The offensive line does a pretty good job on this. Do note that with the double A-mug look, the offensive line has to, essentially figure out who's coming, who's not coming. You got to know which guys you're going to pick up, which way the slide is. And just backing this up a little bit further, you even see Geno Smith here change the call. All right, you see him get up here, the slides to the left, puts Mostert over here towards the right. And essentially what they're doing is saying, hey, this is how we're going to block this. Mostert to 48 here. Bowers is going to run a route. If this guy comes, then Geno Smith essentially is going to throw it hot. But again, you do see all these different guys, they kind of drop off. And the Raiders' offensive line does do a good job. You see Paris Johnson, DJ Glaze both do really good jobs against those two guys. And of course, Mostert gets that opportunity. He's not able to pick it up. And the Raiders end up settling for a field goal on this drive. What looked like a really, really promising drive comes to an end. But that's not a huge deal because, these are learning lessons at the end of the day, right? The Raiders can always look to get better. They can always look to add more weapons. This is the next drive right after the Jeremy Chin interception. You're going to pick up 3 yards on this first run here. So inside zone towards the left, you do have a situation where sometimes these defensive ends, when you're going to run zone concepts and everybody's kind of going towards that left, these guys are going to come downhill screaming super, super hard. And this is for the quarterback to bootleg this and get out of here towards the right. Obviously, in this situation, the defensive end, essentially he's going to just straight chase it backside. This is for the quarterback to pull it and to bootleg it. Now, obviously, it's only 2 drives. It's a pretty good job by the guys up front. I do think there's one guy that kind of messes up on this block. Obviously, you have the guy that's, on the backside that's going to go unblocked. And then on top of that, you're also going to see DJ Glaze not going to be able to reach the 3 technique here. You got to be able to cut this guy off if you're DJ Glaze. These are the little things that I think DJ Glaze has to just continue to fine tune. Get stronger, get a little bit more physical, be able to reach guys. Not a huge deal, right? You pick up about 3 yards. Truth be told, if you get these reach blocks to actually work, the backside is still going to end up opening up, right? You still see the gap right between where Meredith is and DJ Glaze is, but you got to be able to reach as well, right? So, and that was actually the first play of the second drive that the Raiders had the football. This is the touchdown drive, and the 13-yard run was really that big run. Really liked what the Raiders did on this one. And I also do want to just state this, and one of the adjustments the Raiders made on this play versus that last play, they're going to put this wide receiver on this flat route over here, which is going to hold this backside defensive end a little bit. So you're going to notice this defensive end is not going to crash downwards as much, right? He has to kind of keep an eye here on Jacoby, as you guys will see. Let me just back this up. You'll see him here. He has to keep an eye on Jacoby, right? Jacoby might cut him. It might be a play action bootleg. So that guy's not able to make that play right there. On the first one, Bryce Huff comes downhill and he makes the play, right? Or he's at least one of the guys that kind of makes the play. So that's a good job on this one. Again, outside zone with the split action with the wide receiver. And of course, Ashton Genty just running downhill and just running people over. Absolutely love this, man. Love the physicality by Ashton Genty. You see Maxx Crosby kind of come out there as well. Really good job by the guys up front on this one. Keep an eye here. Keep an eye on Meredith. He has the 2-eye technique here. And watch the movement. Watch as he makes contact with this guy. The defense tackle doesn't want to get reached, so he's going to fight through it. And then Meredith's just going to keep pushing him. Right? If you want to fight and get over and stick to that gap, just clear him out of there and let the running back make the read. One of the things on these zone runs is if this guy has this A gap and he really, really wants to stay in that A gap, Meredith can either reach block him, and if he's going to fight that reach, he's going to try to get over the top. All you have to do is just push him out towards the right. Let him stay over the top if that's what he wants to do, and that's what this guy tries doing. Right? He doesn't want Meredith to reach him, so then Meredith just pushes him out of there. That block right there opens this hole up. And then Dylan Parham, Colt Miller both have reach blocks. Colt Miller's going to do just enough, right? Miller, his biggest strength as a run blocker is reach blocking, right? Backside seals. And that's exactly what he does. We talked about the last play that DJ Glaze had a reach block. Same situation, right? It was a guy lined up to the inside of him. All he had to do was get in front of this guy and seal it off. Glaze is not as good as a reach blocker as Colt Miller is. But Glaze is a little bit better on the front side of runs, so he's a little bit stronger than Colt Miller. DJ Glaze doesn't do a great job pushing this guy outwards either, right? It's really not that good of a job. There's really not a whole lot of movement. But DJ Glaze does fully seal this guy off, right? The guy's not able to get off the block. And then, of course, you generate that movement on the inside, and Genty's able to just make those cuts. Colt Miller gets the reach block. Dylan Parham's going to get the reach block. So, again, the front side does not matter as much as the reach blocks on the backside on outside zone concepts. The front side just has to seal their guys out towards the outside. And you got to generate movement, right? Jordan Meredith's the guy that generates that movement on this one. It just takes one guy for a play to end up having success. So we have just a couple more plays. Notice on this one, once again, Jacoby Myers going to run right into the flats. This time they're going to end up just throwing it to him. So it's literally the same play that we ran, or at least the same action on the last 2 plays. This time they're going to actually throw it to Myers, right? So that's a nice job right there. You want to show the same play over and over and over again, but you want it to be different. Outside zone on one play action bootleg on the next play action bootleg to a screen on the 3rd play, right? Just keep it changing, but show the same action. Make these guys get confused a little bit. To me, this is the difference with Chip Kelly as Raiders offensive coordinator, as well as, someone like Luke Getsy, right? Chip Kelly knows what he's kind of doing. This one here is going to be a 3-yard run. This looks like power football to me. I'm going to confirm that right now. You see Meredith and Dylan Parham talking a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a power run to the left. I don't know what these 2 guys are kind of saying right here. It's kind of interesting because Dylan Parham's, saying something to the right, and Meredith's correcting him. That's communication right there. We'll see who these 2 guys end up blocking. Meredith and Parham end up to these 2. Parham actually misses his block. So that communication was key right there. Again, I don't know what they're saying. Dylan Parham is saying something about this guy. Maybe he's trying to tell Jordan Meredith that, hey, I will help you and we'll double team on this guy. And you get off of this guy, and the linebacker might come and you pick this linebacker up. Because keep in mind, Jackson Powers-Jones is going to pull, so someone needs to fill that. If this guy ends up coming as Powers-Jones and pulls, this guy's going to make the play. So I think that is what Dylan Parham's pointing out to Meredith here. So maybe that's what's happening here. When Dylan Parham, steps over here, and Meredith does as well, this guy here is Dylan Parham's. Like on a normal play, it'd be Dylan Parham's. But if he blitzes, then that's on Jordan Meredith to get to. Obviously, Dylan Parham just doesn't process this play quick enough. But he should have picked that linebacker up. And truth be told, if he does, this is a 20-yard gain right here. Again, one guy sometimes, right, is the difference. You got to make this block right here if you're Dylan Parham. That linebacker is the guy that ends up blowing the play up. Also, Colt Miller, phenomenal block. Watch the down block on the 4-eye technique, I guess is what this guy signed up in. I mean, that's a really, really, really good block by Miller, right? Straight up, just turns his ass. It doesn't get better than this block right here. And also, I do want to just point this out. Play is designed to go inside of Jackson Powers-Johnson's block here. 56 is taking this block on head on, the DN specifically, but Ashton Genty just bounces this outside. But this is an inside design concept. Dylan Parham misses the block. He's got to do a little bit of a better job. Not a huge deal, right? Still a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 6. The next play is 3rd and 3. You're going to get what almost looks like mesh, and the quarterback ends up hitting Trey Tucker. So that's a great job. Now, I don't know if this is mesh. Maybe it's mesh with the stop adjustment against zone. I think that's probably what it was. And both guys do a great job. Both guys stop exactly as you're supposed to. On this play here, if this is man coverage, which it obviously is not, Myers runs this through, Trey Tucker runs this through, and I think there's Michael Mayer stops himself there. However, because it's zone, both guys read it and both guys end up stopping. So that's a great job by both those wide receivers to be aware. Gino ends up hitting Tucker, but he could have probably hit either wide receiver. 3rd and 3, and you pick the first down up. Moving the chains is a very, very, very pivotal part, I think, for the Raiders this season. You want to have success, you got to move the chains. You got to be able to, you got to be able to pick those first downs up. And, DJ Glaze had probably the hardest matchup going up against Bryce Huff. He had 2 snaps earlier that we talked about in which he lost, but that's a hard matchup. Bryce Huff's a good defensive end. And, I think DJ Glaze will continue to develop. He'll continue to fix some of the footwork issues he has. Right? Bryce Huff, if you guys look at him, is going to start his rush to the inside. Notice how he's taking an inside angle on DJ Glaze. All right, he's not going outwards. He's going inside, and then he jumps outwards. All right, he's setting up DJ Glaze, and he cross chops as well, and DJ Glaze falls for it. All right, DJ Glaze is in a really good spot. He hits the landmark, but Bryce Huff baits him inside, and he ends up chopping him. He ends up getting the corner, but DJ does do a great job staying right on top of it. The rest of the guys do a pretty good job as well. That's a nice job right there by the offensive line. Truth be told, man, these guys impressed me a lot. I did not expect the offensive line to do what they kind of did out there. For the most part, every single one of these guys were able to keep the quarterback clean. And again, I know there's some backup players, but Gibson, is on one side. He's not backup. Alfred Collins is out there. He's not a backup player. Bryce Huff is out there. I don't think he's a backup player either. These guys did a fairly good job going up against some of these guys that weren't backup players. And this is an absolute phenomenal pass by Geno Smith. Look at the trajectory of this pass right here. Really, really nice shot. Throws it away from the coverage. There's two guys kind of all over Michael Mayer. And this is just trust from Geno Smith. You know, he knows Michael Mayer's going to get this. That's a really, really, really good job right there. Watch Colton Miller on this one. He's going to end up getting set up. Guy's going to hit him with the cross chop. But Miller does a great job staying right on top of it. That's a nice job by Miller, Para, Meredith, JPJ, and even DJ Glaze. All three of these guys do a phenomenal job. And we have 2 plays left. They're basically the same play from what I can tell. The first play is actually going to end up getting blown up. I believe it's DJ Glaze that kind of gets blown up backwards. And I'll go back to the other angle. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm going to slow this down. Keep an eye on DJ. He kind of gets pushed backwards. And it's a hard play right from goal line's always kind of tricky. You know, you also get that 6th offensive lineman in there. You get there, Munford out there. Love that, right? Munford's strong as hell. So there's this one, which was first down from the 1-yard line. And of course, second down from the 1-yard line. The final play these guys are in. This time, Genty jumps outwards, makes that jump cut. He's able to score a touchdown. I absolutely love the Las Vegas Raiders offense this season, man. I think they're going to end up becoming really, really good this year. I think they're going to score a lot of points, man. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, I wanted to break down every single one of the plays from the Raiders. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time with another video.